All right, guys. Happy Monday. I'm going to mute you guys as you hop on, but happy Monday. Welcome to our Team Sweaty Swipe. Oh my God. Every time. Team Sweaty Lovely Life team call. It is the first Monday of February. Um, Crazy. I just can't even believe it. So, very exciting month. We have a lot of things going on. It is Team Cup month. Many of you are in or on a team for Team Cup. And so we are rocking and rolling. We've also got our first diamond internship going on, and we have our second month of our new coach mentorship. And a lot of you ladies are in there, and you're already crushing it. So I'm super proud and excited. And this week I head to Los Angeles on Thursday for the new leadership conference, which you guys, I could not imagine a year ago the fact that I'd be going to this. So just know that you just showing up every day, helping those 3 people a month, like reaching your own goals, just keep going and shit's gonna happen. So I just want you to understand that. I put I want to just share this really quickly. I put 2-star on my vision board for a couple of reasons last year. So for those of you who are newer and don't know this yet, I didn't know this. I realized that 2-star is really where like everything changes. Diamond is sort of the building block of the business. It's where the income potential really grows. It's where your team foundation really grows. Everything is built upon and gets more exciting beyond diamond. But 2-star is really where your income like really starts to come in, where you're able to open up a second business center. But also it was what the qualification was for this new leadership conference. So just like Summit, new leadership is like one of those things that like, if you just got to get there, you like want to be there. So I was like, in the qualification period ended, before the end of the year. But little did I know they changed it to 1-star. So even though I met my 2-star call, I got to my 2-star rank, and wasn't able to hold it in qualifications. Long story. I am still able to go, and I am freaking out. I'm so nervous. I was telling Leah, like I'm truly an introvert, you guys, in a lot of ways. And there's so many things that I'm just like nervous about, but also at the same time, this is exactly like the push and the leap and the growth that I need. And I want you to like lean into that. And I say it over and over and over again, but this whole last year has been nothing but discomfort for me. And there's a reason for that. I haven't felt comfortable like one time this whole year. And that's because I was just constantly growing and growing and growing. And I chose over and over and over to lean into it instead of resist it, because I saw the bigger picture, and I realized that there's a reason why I'm feeling this resistance, right? And it's because growth is needed, right? Okay, so that's my little spiel. So just, don't like put that on your radar, put that on your vision board, put that like on everything right now. So I'm going to just do a quick recognition. I'm going to share my screen. And we have 2 people on the board so far. And I know that this is not going to stay this way. We had our best month, most exciting month ever. Last month, we changed over 30 lives total before the end of the day. The month was over. And I want to shout out Allie as our recruiter of the week this week, because Allie has literally just never once, like, she's never once given, like, she's always just, she's been running since day one. I just feel like she has never once complained, or like she again is a perfect example of choosing to lean in to the discomfort and like make it her strength, or be willing and open and like a sponge of like seeking knowledge and how to improve. And I love her positivity. I love like just the way she shares. I look to her posts every day, and honestly, like, she inspires me. So I just want to shout her out. And she also has already changed one life this week. And I'm just really, really excited and happy to have her a part of our team. So congrats, Allie. And I want you to know that I really look up to you. So that's my little cheese moment for the day. Let me exit. Oh my God, what am I doing? Okay, I'm clearly having issues tonight. So I'm going to get right into the meat of the call. And I'm talking about sharing your story because, like I said, a lot of, oops, can you guys see this? My presentation? Okay. A lot of you guys are newer coaches. And I know for me, this was something I struggled with for so long, was realizing trying to figure out, like, what do I post about and how do I share like who I am, and how do I, like, it was constantly like not a stressor, but like I felt like I focused so much on fitness and like the things that like were so obvious and came natural to me, instead of like just like speaking honestly about who I am, and not overthinking it, and just sharing my story. That was something like that I just didn't. A little bit of it comes from like insecurity, but other than that, it's also just like kind of like learning how to break down who you are and really getting clear again on that why of why you joined, and you're learning how to just like trickle that in little bits and pieces throughout your social media. Okay. So like I said, the most important thing that you can do right now as we're on this call is take out a piece of paper, and I want you to write down the 4 core things that you love that you couldn't live without. So for me, like when I think about who I am, what I love, and like really defines me, it's like, okay, I'm a nurse. I am, I love my husband and my, then boyfriend. So he is a very big part of my life. Our dog, I love our dog. I love the home, and just like, I love everything family and home, and sort of just like that's so much a part of like why I did this, was with thinking and envisioning the future. So motherhood, everything nurturing, like that's very much a part of who I am. And I love the outdoors. I love the outdoors and adventure, and I have that wanderlust. So like those are 4 core things about me, but I'm also like, I guess you could throw in there that I'm an introvert and, I'm a homebody. So back into the home nurturing thing. So those are like some things about me that, like, that's just a fact. That's who I am. It doesn't matter how confident I get. It doesn't matter, what changes in my life. Like, that's the core of who I am. What's most important to me is like, if everything was gone tomorrow, like as long as I had my family and my husband and my dog, I could rebuild, right? So, and thinking about why did you say yes? So for me, like I have to own the fact that I joined not for a big transformation. I joined for the community. I joined because I was seeking more. I joined for this just feeling inside me that I wanted something more. I joined because I was struggling with my nutrition and just plateauing in my health and wellness, and not really knowing exactly what I was doing wrong or what I was missing. So I had all like, and I was afraid to admit that, afraid to ask for help, afraid to, I was an introvert. So I was like, I'm used to doing things on my own, and yet I never really felt completed. I never really felt like I was where I wanted to be. So that's like why I joined, right? So I can't pretend like I have some big physical transformation or like that, that's not my story, right? So I have to be authentic to why I joined. So, some of my biggest self-limiting beliefs are the fact, like I said, I have a fear of, I'm a people pleaser, but I also have always cared too much about what people think. You'll notice, already as I'm telling you these things, if you just join, like think about why you were attracted to me or what a post that you might have read. Like I try to share authentically, like about my self-limiting beliefs, because I'm not trying to attract perfect beings. I'm trying to attract other Amy's. I'm trying to attract other people out there that are where I was, or struggle with the things that I struggle with. So, perfectionism, body dysmorphia, like all these things, those are things I talk about a lot because those are things that I struggle with. And what makes me me? So, my Dance It Out Tuesdays, that was something that because again, I was brainstorming, like, what is it that I'm missing? Like, what is it about me that people aren't seeing? And they're not seeing like the fact that I am a literal, like, here, I can't even talk, like I can't talk, like I'm a goofball, like, yes, I get really feisty and I can be really like, tough loving. I can also be really like to myself and introverted, but also on the flip side, I have this huge extroverted bursts of energy and goofiness, and that's where Dance It Out Tuesdays came from, because I wanted to show people that, I wanted to like poke fun at myself because I like to do that, like that's the poking fun at myself, like, is something I've never been able to do, but because of coaching, I've like, found this ability to sort of like laugh at myself like more, and that's like where that came from. So like, what makes you you, like, do you like to swear a lot? Like, do you like, I don't even know, like, do you go on rants? Like, I know Alex just popped in my head because Alex like literally like will go off on her Instagram about like just like random shit, because that's like part of her personality. Like Leah, I just like, I'm thinking of things that are literally popping in my head, like our like Leah and her dog and her puppy, and Leah and her pens. Like she's sharing about the fact that she was obsessed with pens or whatever today on her stories. Like just random things like that. Like, don't try and be somebody else. Be you. Like, I like, what kind of dog do you have? Are you obsessed with your dog? Like, share about your dog. Like, do you um you really love oils and you're really into oils, or you know you love to hike, like, I'm brainstorming, guys, but honestly, like, every single one of you is different. Every single one of you has unique qualities, unique little quirks, unique things that are just specific to you. You can even like be the fact that like, for me, like, something I talked about a lot this year. Yes, I am a nurse, but what makes my story different from another nurse is the fact of like where I work and the environment in which I work in. I talked a lot this year about the fact that I was dealing with a lot of bullying and negativity from my coworkers. Like, I alluded to the fact of that all the time because that was my reality, right? So, and I talked about like my desire, like why I took this job, like why did I, I'm talking like sharing bits and pieces of my nursing journey, like, because my nursing journey is very much a part of like why I started coaching and why I like needed this, community. So, and like, again, yeah, like I said, leading into why, like, so you have the why you said yes to, starting your health and fitness journey. But in some of you like are starting that right along with your coaching journey, so that might blend, but there's always like your why and what's going to motivate you to like show up for yourself, like health and fitness wise isn't always going to be exactly the same as what's going to get you to show up for your business every day, what's going to get you to show up for your goals every day. What burns deep in your belly that's going to like get you to show up even on the days that you don't want to. Because trust me, there are days that I have, many days that I do not want to get up and I don't want to do my 4 a.m. workout, or when I was doing 4 a.m. workouts. I definitely haven't done those in a while. Get up and like work, send out those invites, and, like, there are days that I don't want to do that, but you know what I don't want to do more? Comes back to my why for why I started coaching. I don't want to be stuck in my job. I don't want to be here in 3 months. I don't want to be in debt in 3 months, or have I want to be rid of my student loans. There's so many more things that outweigh the other things. And that's stuff I can talk about. Sort of refuting objections. And I'll get into that in a second. Yeah, you know what? It's not so great getting up at 4 a.m. all the time, but you know what is good about it? This, and this, right? Like the fact that I'm creating this freedom for myself, the fact that I, have also fallen in love with filling my mind with positivity, or the fact that putting in that work every day has now gotten me here. It's now gotten me to the point where I have this freedom with my schedule, this freedom to pour into something that I'm passionate about, right? And then the 4 vital behaviors. So that's me showing up and sharing the fact, my the wellness side, the fitness side, the fact that I'm showing up for myself, that I'm putting time in being proof of the product, I'm sharing recipes sometimes. I love to share my superfood smoothie bowls, right? So those are something I like to share a lot. I'm sharing my results, and I'll get into that in a second, sharing my transformations. So it's not always physical transformations, right? It's more, sorry, I'm just going to read the chat. Oh my God. Dude, guys, I should read the chat more. Jesus. Resume. Do you see it now? Do you see a PowerPoint? Oh, what the flip? Okay. Stop. Share. Now do you see it? Okay, good. Jesus, guys. You gotta tell me that sooner. Now I feel like I'm an idiot. All right. This was my first page, just so you know. This is my first page, and this is the slide we're on. Okay. So, all right, the 4 vital behaviors. Oh, sharing. You can always share. What I love to share too is personal development, right? What are you learning from your personal development? What is it doing for you? All right. So this all is kind of tying together. You see what I'm saying? This is all bits and pieces and parts of you. So the more you lean into your journey, the more you lean into all of this about who you actually are, the more natural your posting is going to become, the more easier it is going to become for you to come up with what you want to share, what you want to talk about, what's on your heart. Literally, don't even make it so complicated. Every single day, I'm posting in response to what's in my inbox, what did I read that day, what's going on in my life right now, and then I'm pulling in, I'm making it valuable by being, making a point, or I always trickling in, or alluding or breadcrumbing to the community, or to coaching, or to something about me, something that can connect others with me and my personality, right? Okay, so here's some examples. So let me make this smaller so I can see. So for example, this is an example here in the middle of me sharing just about who I am. So I'm not, something I try to always be really honest and clear about is the fact that I really love to drink beer, and I love wine, and I love to, I hate the term treat yourself, even though I love it from Parks and Rec, but I do not, I get all the time comments in my inbox and stuff about people thinking they have to follow some certain diet. And for me, again, I talk about that a lot because that's part of my journey. That's part of my story, is that I have always struggled with food. So I can't and did not join this, like, you know, to follow some restrictive diet. Like this is about a lifestyle for me. It's something that I can maintain. So that's learning how to fuel my body and learning what, makes me feel good, and more intuitive eating. And like, the fact that I do indulge, and I'm never gonna, like, the fact that feeling guilty about that has always been the danger for me, right? So I make, a little joke, like, spotted Amy in her happy place, like, I'm drinking beer, like, that makes me happy, right? Alluding to the fact that I struggle with negativity and anxiety. Like, I shared a post, you can't see the picture, but like, want to know what motivates me? It's, to better myself, it's not letting the mean girls win, because that is something that I have to deal with on a daily basis, is, people's opinions about me and coaching, because I work with a lot of older women, and they all hate the fact that I want to get out, or whatever, or the fact that I've got it could be about anybody, like anything, whatever I was feeling that day. I'm pretty sure that day it was like alluding to my coworkers. But and then, like, here is a post about me talking about, all right, again, like you're gonna do, like, life's not easy all the time. There's things you're doing that aren't so great. You're in a job maybe you hate, and maybe you don't love it, and you don't like where you're at right now. But how is coaching giving you hope? How is coaching, this opportunity, this community, how is it giving you focus? How is it giving you, like, direction? Like, so I shared, like, I had to be in an e-record class 2 weekends ago for like 8 hours. I had no idea it was 8 hours. It literally at first, like, ruined my whole and I ended up staying stuck in that class. And I had, like, a coworker literally call me out in front of everybody. It was terrible. But at the same time, like, I made this post after that happened, because you know what? I realized that, like, I have a lot, like, this sucks. You all suck right now. But I have so much goodness coming, and I have so much goodness in my life right now. Like, as much as work is a struggle sometimes, and still is, even though I've gone per diem, like, I love this community, and I love, like, all this consistent work that I put in has led you guys to me, has led me to you, and is building this, culture and this community that I love, and that is going to, like, help me, get even further closer to where I want to be. So, like, what did I say? Whatever you're doing today, whether you want to do it or not, choose to make the best of it. And that's literally, like, what it is. Like, in that class, I remember I literally chose, this is where the universe has your back and stuff comes in, like, and why it helps me still, because I chose to see it differently. I chose to see it as, like, my reasoning of, like, okay, this is a sign. Like, this is, like, just me showing me where I need to, focus my energy. And then this post over here is me sitting in my office. And I'm pretty sure it was after, like, a team call a couple weekends ago. And I was like, our house, we live in a log cabin. I live in the woods, and we don't have good heating. So I was, like, sort of like daydream, making a joke kind of, but sort of serious, that my home office someday is, like, I crave light. Like, I'm, like, daydreaming in my future office, but also kind of making fun of myself because I live in the woods. And so, just sort of, like, again, I'm, like, breadcrumbing coaching, but at the same time, I'm also, like, connecting people with me and my personality and letting them in to see who I am. So those are just some examples. And then in our boot camp, not our boot camp, in our new coach training, and in our diamond group, and pretty much forever and ever, amen, I'm always going to tell you that consistency is the freaking, like, you have to do it. And this is why, because consistency literally is what can like builds the connection and the trust in the relationship without you ever opening your mouth with other people to other people. Okay, before you ever get in their inbox, they're already gonna know whether you're dependable. They're already gonna know whether you're for real and whether you're running a hobby, you know, for yourself in your own life and in, and for them, or whether you're on top of your shit. Okay. So your page, your Instagram, your feed, that is like, they call it a magazine, but I like to think of it sort of like a storybook, because any given picture that your people like go to look at in the caption, they're going to read a little story about you. They're going to get a little snapshot, a little piece of your story in that post. And, and the picture is what draws them in, but it's the caption that like lets them get to know you and your story. So if you're not showing up every day, and I'm not talking like, one post, you guys, at minimum, like a day. If you're not showing up every day, you're leaving them high and dry. They're gonna, and if they don't think that, and they see that you're not consistent, they're not going to check back on your page, because they're going to assume that you're not showing up. If they, like, I know that I go and check like Ashley Feldyson's feed pretty much every day, because I know she's going to have a new post and I want to see what it says. It's the same thing. If you are consistently sharing, you're going to start to develop a following, a tribe of people that literally love you, who you are, and want to show up every day and see what you have to share with them that day. And I tell you, we tell you, and we'll tell you forever, like all the time. Like it took Leah 8 months, of me reaching out to her before she said yes. I have most of the people that sign up with me at this point. I've been coaching for almost a year and a half now, that many of them have been watching me for months, have told me no like 4 or 5 times, and it's after watching me. And then maybe it was like, you never know what post you share is going to end up being that post that somebody else needed to see at that moment on that day, that's going to change their mind, that's going to get them to want to say yes to you. So and again, like I mentioned, use your post to confront the objections publicly. So I think I just did a post the other day. Actually, I want to do a post tonight about money. And I want to kind of make it kind of comical, but sort of like, I'm getting a lot of objections recently about money, about cost of superfoods, about, cost to sign up. And when you're getting a lot of objections about the same thing, you guys, that's the time when you need to like address it in your post. And again, you do it in a way that's like, you're sharing why, like, you said yes to that objection, or why you made that decision to that the money, it was worth the money. So for me, like, I have done this many times where I talk about the fact that I like always, like, I would drop $200 at Target, no big deal, even though, and charge on my credit card. But I had a problem with paying $200 for something that could change my health. Like, it was $200 when I joined. So I talk about that a lot, about the fact that, like, okay, like, think about it. Like, and I use my story as an example. Like, okay, so it's okay for me to go spend $200 at Target, but it's not like $160 is too much to spend on me, on something that could change my life. So it's like, you sort of kind of like can do that with anything. You can do that with coaching. Like, one time, all right, people say that they can't be coached because they're introverted. Well, I'm an introvert. So again, poking fun at myself, like, oh, like, you can't do this? Like, well, look at me. Like, and I can share like an example of, like, I shared a post once of me and a couple other girls. I'm like, said how hard it was to be a coach when I was like, oh, you mean take selfies all day? Like something like a little joke like that. But it was like, yeah, it's like everything about coaching. It's like we built it up so much in our heads, like the fear of it that, um, you just kind of want to like let people in, like let people see like that it really isn't that scary, or how you got over the fear, or like what you've realized about coaching. Okay. And would you, and this is like ties back into the consistency. So this is a business. This is your business. You are the CEO of your business. Would you like be sick to work and not call in and like let your people know that you weren't coming? Like, wouldn't you feel really guilty? Actually, you just wouldn't do it, like just not show up for work because it's your job and you have a responsibility and people are counting on you. It's the same thing, especially if you do want this to be your full-time job. If you really, think about it in that regard, like, doesn't it make you feel a little bit differently about just like not showing up on your feed? And like, here's the thing, guys, life happens. Like, I remember when I lost Teddy, my dog, last year, like, I like wanted nothing to do with like life. It was Christmas. I didn't want to go to Christmas. Like, I remember like the thing is like when things are hard, other people are going through hard things too. Like someone else somewhere may have lost a pet or a loved one or something like that. And the thing is you don't have to like fake that you're okay. You don't have to pretend like it's all rainbows and butterflies. It's the fact that you're showing up even when it's hard, again, is going to show that people can trust in you, that you're human, that you struggle too. And like, you want to show them that it's okay. You want to show them that it's okay and that there are ways to get through it, that you can go on. Or even if it's a struggle, like, be like, I know today's not okay, maybe tomorrow's not gonna be okay or whatever, but like, this is what I'm gonna choose today. This is how I'm feeling today and what I'm gonna choose, and how I'm gonna choose to go forward. So for me, I remember I was doing 80-day, or I was starting 80-day obsession. Anyway, I remember I didn't like, the only thing I really could do to work out my sadness or to, cope with it was I did work out. And I did show up in my boot camp because you know what? It was positivity. It was happiness. It was something that I could focus my mind on that wasn't sad. That wasn't, going to remind me of what I was, it wasn't going to allow me to dwell in what I was going through. So I don't mean to tell you, like, if you're going through a family tragedy or something like that, like, of course. But the thing is like, people care, like, whether you know it or not, whether you think it or not, people do care about you. And so I know, like, it's a good idea to, even if you aren't showing up on your feed, it's sort of like, at some point or the other, it's okay to like let people know, like, I can't really tell you, I don't want to tell you like everything, but I'm going through kind of a hard time. So just know that I'm not going to be around, but it's not like, but I'm still here, kind of a thing. So that's sort of like what I mean. You need to understand that you're building relationships with people, whether you know it or not. They might be on, hiding and on the sidelines, and you never know they're there until they pop on out of the blue when you stop showing up, and they're like, where'd you go? Or they pop in out of the blue in your inbox or on your store or on your poll, and they're like, I'm ready to join, or something like that. So you just never know the life that you're impacting on the other side of that screen. Okay. So your vibe attracts your freaking tribe. So this is where I want to tie back into the fact that your page is your storybook. So what's on your page, it should be 90% photos of you. Okay. So not of all your family or, stock photos or, snapshots of other things like, or products even. Like you want it to be of you. So even if so when I share my smoothie bowls, I still want to have an element of like me in it. I still want to have me like either like you can see my body or I'm in the picture with it. You always want to be like showing your face. It's really good to always be looking at the camera. Sometimes I do like kind of look away from the camera, but you're still able to see my eyes. Um, it's it's because that's what's like eye catching. That's what draws people in. Like you want, and you don't want to like, and it creates that with about the products. You don't ever want to like show a bottle of Energize unless you're like doing a giveaway or something like that. And even still, you can sort of like turn the bottle a little bit, but like you want to create the curiosity. You want it to be eye-catching, and you are going to draw people in with the image, and it's the caption that's really going to hit home. Okay. So, but again, it's about you. It's your page. It's your story. So even like if you are sharing about your family, let it be a photo that you're in, or like share a few different photos, but make sure like the first one has like you in it, kind of a thing. And you want to share transformations. Transformations are, again, you are being a product of the product. And for me, again, it's not all about physical transformations, or it's not all going to be like huge drastic transformations, but so like I share a lot is the fact that I've been on a weight gain journey in a way. Not necessarily like I'm trying to like gain weight, but I went from being the lowest, no muscle mass weight, because I always would just cardio, run, to the fact that I've built muscle over this last year, and that that's my transformation. Or my face. So it doesn't matter that I've gained weight, or whatever, that I weigh more in one picture versus the other. Like my face, you can see the happiness in my face. My face is thinner. My face, like my hair is longer, and you can do all sorts of transformations, you guys. It doesn't always have to be like just about the full body results, although those are important, especially when you're, as we're talking about Transform 20. Of course, we're going to want to share the results that we're having in progress that we're making with Transform 20. But you can make it so different. And so I try to do those, honestly. Like the more I do them, the more I love them, because I feel like they can show so much, and they can really like complement a story, especially of like from where you were then to where you are now. So you want to make sure you're doing those every 9 to 12 photos, so that every 3 to 4 rows, they can see a transformation. So when you look at like the snapshot of your Instagram on the phone, like they can see at least one transformation photo in those 12 photos. And you want to mix it up. So like I said, looking at the camera, full body, a lot of like most 6 out of 9, like I don't know, I'm throwing numbers at you, but the point is like full body is best. If they can see like the full of you, different locations. So like I have to be careful, because I can get pretty repetitive with like, my pictures in like my office or like in my bathroom, things like that. So like this is where like a tripod less than $20 on Amazon comes in handy, and you can get really creative like in your house with a tripod, just sort of like different angles of you in your house, in your kitchen. I take my tripod outside sometimes when the weather is nice, and I like do a little photo shoot, because it's nice to just have those photos like on hand. So like tonight, if I do my post, like I'm not going to be posting a picture of me like right before I'm about to go to bed. I mean, if I wanted to do a raw whatever post, I would, but not for like me talking about this price objection. I'm gonna pull up a photo like that I have in my camera roll, edited, whatever, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second. And that's what I'm going to use. So it's nice to have those in your arsenal. So I know like some of you guys like have mentioned that, you don't sometimes have pictures to post, but like, you do have pictures. Like get used to liking yourself. Get used to, get used to taking pictures of yourself, because that's something like I didn't do a lot. I took pictures of other people, but I never took a lot of pictures of myself. Again, this is going to become more comfortable the more you do it, just like anything. Are you seeing a trend yet? That it's going to get easier and it's going to get more fun and you're going to like it. But just like make it different. Okay. And then I wanted to talk about Lightroom presets, because this is something that's going to change all of your lives if you aren't already doing it. So I discovered this a couple months ago when I started paying attention to people's feeds and realizing that, oh my God, all their pictures like look all the same, like their lighting's all the same, the editing's sort of the same, it looks so beautiful. And I'm like, what are these people doing? And then I realized, I forget how I found out, but they were these presets that you can purchase off of Etsy. I know like Ashley Smith, who's a really one of the top 10 elite coaches. She sells, some top coaches and even social media people like Jenna Kutcher sells her own presets. Retreat. Oh, taking pictures. Okay. Anyway, Alex. Oh my gosh. And so you can, like I bought mine off of Etsy for $5, and you download the Lightroom app on your phone, and literally it takes all the editing out that I was doing out of it. All I do is I copy the preset and I paste it onto my picture, and that's what gives, like, it edits the whole picture for me. So very rarely do I ever have to add any additional edit to my picture, and it gives all my pictures like this cohesive like hue. And for me, like I live in a woodsy area, like I'm warm, I like warm colors, so like I like my warm tone, whereas some people make theirs more black and white or really white, bright light. Pink hues, like anything. There's tons of options, but that's so worth it to just again, give your page that more high quality look, the cohesiveness, and again, to shorten, like to make your life easier. So I think that's pretty much all I had. So I kind of wanted to open it up to questions to sort of like hear what you guys think you might be struggling with, or if you had any questions for me. Oh yeah, Alexa Jean, she's a blogger, has good presets. Yeah. There's tons of options. And honestly, like I know Leah uses a preset. Allie, I think you use a preset. I could be talking for you, but I use a preset. Again, like I said, I got mine off of Etsy. I'm gonna stop my share. And that's really all I have for you guys. Does anyone have any questions? You don't have to pop it in the chat. You can unmute yourself if you want to. Nothing? Okay. All right, guys. You're all quiet. None of your faces are on. All right. I'm going to stop my recording.